Hello guys, welcome back to another day here in the bike shop and another episode of Forest Outdoor Adventure. I've got a really exciting video planned. So a couple days ago, I actually had a customer swing in here to the bike shop and he said, hey, I've got a couple cruiser bikes I'd like to donate. Well, let me show you what I ended up with. And these aren't like the new school cheapo Schwinn cruisers that you see every day, a dime a dozen. No way, man, these are old school. So we actually ended up with a couple Schwinn cruisers. I ended up with some Ital Vega road bikes as well, if that's how you say it. And just some stuff you really don't see too often. And guys, this is really old school stuff. I don't know the exact year of all of these bikes. I know he had a lot of the different colorways of these Ital Vega road bikes as well. Some of these I have found online and they're worth some bucks. So I've got all of my repair work done for today here in the bike shop. I figured, why don't we go ahead and pull down that blue Schwinn cruiser right there? That's the one I'm most interested in for today's video, and do a little restoration. So let's just go ahead and we'll grab our handy dandy ladder here in order to get to this guy that we got hanging up here. These are sketchy. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, it's so heavy. All right, well, here she is. As you guys can see, this thing, I mean, it's in fairly good shape. It is a single speed. Obviously, it's all cable actuated brakes. I'm pretty sure this is original Schwinn. If anyone knows the year, let me know. We've got the original Schwinn logo there. I'm assuming made in Chicago. If any of this means anything, we've got a sticker about the licensing. I am a bike shop mechanic, so maybe I should know more about this stuff, but old Schwinns just aren't my usual forte. I think getting this guy going, a good lubrication, a good wash. We'll have to check the chain out. It was having some issues with the coaster brake that I know about, but I just tested it and it seems to be working okay. Let's go ahead and dive into this guy on the stand. So we're gonna go ahead here and grab our 13 millimeter wrench, and I'm gonna try to go for this seat post bolt. Hopefully it's not too stuck. We'll raise the seat and get it up here on our bike stand. One thing I will say with these old Schwinn cruisers is oftentimes you end up finding some standard bolts. In my experience, I'm gonna have to go after the seat post bolt with this 13 millimeter. So as you guys can see, this bolt right here on the back side is actually turning. I'm gonna have to put the camera down and get a wrench on that side. All right. So this seat's definitely gonna need some love here. Go ahead and extend that up a little bit. Just need to do it enough to clamp my bike stand onto it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get the Schwinn cruiser clamped in the stand here and go ahead and get her lifted up. A lot of these older bikes are really heavy in the front, so I like to kind of put them at a little bit of an angle like that, and then when we lift them in the stand, the handlebars don't just turn side to side a lot. These front bearings actually feel really good on this bike. I might open the front up, I might not. I mean, we'll have to see how it looks after a good wash. Just looking at these inner tubes too, I am going to claim I'm going to trust the rear. The front one's definitely going to need a new inner tube, so we'll take care of that. Okay, folks, so we got her lifted up on the stand here. I think the very first thing I'm going to do to this is just give it a good once over clean so we're not working around a bunch of grease and gunk. Just looking at this cabling, oof, we got some splitting in there. Of course, at what cost is it going to be worth it? A full restoration, yes, it could be. I want to see if we can actually make this thing into a shop bike and ride it around. I'm going to use this bio wash here. By the way, I've been accused of promoting Maxima in the past. This is not a sponsor, it's just really good wash. So without further ado, go ahead and get her all washed down. And this wash is very bike paint friendly. It does eat quite a bit of grease. I mean, you might have to go over it once or twice, but it's all environmentally safe. I'm not scared to get it on my fingers or anything. And I'm not scared to get it on brake pads, which, by the way, looking at them, actually don't look too bad. So the BioWash has been soaking about a minute. I'm gonna use this microfiber rag and basically just wipe the whole bike down. All right, you guys, I've pretty much got the whole bike cleaned up here with the BioWash. Now we can start getting into replacing some parts and seeing what tires hold air and what tires do not. So this back tire still has some residual air. It's got a couple little dust mites on it still, but some residual air, which leads me to believe this was probably replaced at some point. And I'm not scared to just try to put air in this and see if it holds overnight. We'll go ahead and make sure the stem is nice and straight. Okay, some unfortunate news. I went ahead and attempted to air the front up, and it's got a big hole in it. I don't know if it's dry cracked, it's just super old. I'm pretty sure it's just a decent hole. So with that being said, we're gonna have to do the front inner tube. And while the front wheel's off, I'm gonna check the front wheel bearings and make sure they still have grease as well. Coming over to this side, I did notice the coaster brake seems to be engaging. I'm just a little bit concerned. I know that there's some padded pawl looking things on the inside of that coaster brake wheel, and I am terrified to take it apart. I'm gonna have to get this thing rideable and make sure that the brakes work. But let's go ahead and start with what we know, and that's gonna be to take the front tire off. That way I can go give this guy a little bit of a spin. Okay, so these bolts right here, gonna be a 14 millimeter, or probably a 9/16, but 14 seems to fit pretty tight. And we're gonna have to remove both of those nuts on each side because of the front rack support. So we're gonna go ahead and get that nut all the way off. And spin this one off here on the other side. Okay. So with the front fender and the front rack supports disconnected, I'm gonna go ahead and bust this tire off. All right, everyone, so we're gonna grab our tire lever right here. We're gonna unspin this valve stem, and we're gonna get our tire lever up underneath the tire and pull all around just like that. And we go ahead and pull the old inner tube out. The rim tape on the inside of this wheel actually looks really good. There's like some dirt and things inside of here though that are gonna need to get removed. Let me clean this out and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I got a brand new inner tube here. Actually, it's new used. We're kind of repurposing. There was another bike in here that has the exact same inner tube I need for this that I know holds. The other bike I got this tube from, bike's in a lot rougher shape, but it's been holding air for a long time. This is the most satisfying part. Boom. So now it's time to tackle what looks to be left of the wheel bearings. And to be honest, they really don't feel or sound all that bad. They're just a little dirty. I'm thinking I might just spin this nut off, blast some cleaner around in there, and then go after it with a little bit of blue grease. So let me know if you guys want to see any specific types of content. I really like these old bike restorations and just seeing old stuff run again. That's super interesting to me. I got these bearings back in here. They feel really good. Just need to do a little bit of cleaning here on the sides. So we're gonna get this wheel put back on. So we're gonna go ahead and slide the wheel up inside of the front fork, get it past the old school brake there. I'm gonna go ahead and run the rack support on the inside and the fender on the outside, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a washer and the nut. And when we put a front wheel like this back on, we really want to make sure that it's centered between the fork. That way when we go to use the brake, it'll still work as it should. Make sure it's nice and torqued. We definitely don't need it falling off on us. As you guys can see, it seems to be working pretty good. So I've just kind of went through the whole bike and checked all of our torque values here. I'm still questioning the structural integrity of these brake cables. If you guys think I should replace those, go ahead and leave me a comment. I know this bike does probably warrant a full restoration, but I just don't know how much money and time I would like to put into it without knowing exactly what these guys are worth. This is one that we're just going to have here in the bike shop for viewing purposes, so I don't know if it really makes sense to fully go ham on it just yet, but definitely let me know. So this is interesting. This thing actually has the coaster brake as well as hand brakes, and I think someone's already went in and replaced these brake pads. Usually that is the first thing I would do on one of these, because these old school brakes are not known for being very powerful. But just knowing what I know, feeling that engagement, I have a good feeling this thing is going to stop pretty well. Okay, so we've got to a point now where I think we're about ready to ride this thing. The last thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of oil on the chain. And you know, surprisingly, for as old as this thing is, or at least appears to be, it's really not that bad. I did just notice right here that the wheel has a little bit of a walk to it, if you guys can see. I'm going to take care of that with my spoke wrench. So right here, the wheel's got a little bit of a walk. We're just going to tighten these two spokes ever so slightly. So let's go ahead and take this thing off the stand and give it a test ride. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been trying to do more outdoor lifestyle and adventure content, but I have so many of these bike restorations that we could do as well, and they're super fun to do. So let me know if you guys enjoyed this. I have some projects that are super in-depth and complicated, and some that are really more simple and fun to tackle, like this one. So anyways, let me know, and also let me know if you know the year of this bike. I'd really like to see what year it is and talk to you guys in the comments.